When you arrive at your site and you're ready to unhitch, everything will still be connected. Before you unhook everything, again, just make sure that you've chalked the wheels on both sides. So this guy is nicely and safely chalked right now. Next thing to do is we're going to drop the jack to take the weight off the front of the tongue. And that is done with this swivel. You'll have to play around with this a little bit and you'll hear it lock in, okay? What I usually do then is I take a piece of wood and I put it under the jack wheel to make sure that it is not going to sink into the ground, okay? And then I kind of put my foot on it while I'm feeding it out to give it a chance to lift. Now, as soon as you feel lifting a little bit, that's when you can pull the pin and release this clasp, okay? Then continue to crank it with your foot on it to make sure the wheel doesn't pivot too much. And you will see it come off of the ball. You're going to crank it up a little bit because this is how you're going to use to make sure it's level. Then pull the 7-way connector to your green box kit. So in this kit for electrical, we have a orange extension cord, and we also have a 30 amp to 15 amp connector. The trailer itself runs off of 30 amp, which is this funny looking sad face plug. If you are at a campground that only has 30 amp and does not have, or only has 15 amp and does not have 30 amp, you can use this guy, plug it into the back here from the trailer, and plug it into the power socket. Or if you are at a park where the outlet is really, really far away from the actual trailer, you can plug the 30 amp connector over here on the trailer end into this. Equipped with a trailer level to measure whether you are level side to side. Now, if we step back and look at it, this trailer is clearly not level, so we can do it by eye. The better way is to have someone come over and look at this little bubble level here, and you can see that it is nowhere close. So the front end is way too high. So what we're going to do is, using our jack over here, we are going to lower the front of the trailer. And basically we're going to keep going until it's level to the eye. And this is a pretty precise jack. Downside is it's a little bit slow. Okay, we've dropped it down a lot. So let's walk over and we'll check our level. Oh, we're getting really close. So we're gonna drop it down some more. Walk over and check, and now we're really, really close. You really do want to take the extra couple seconds to make sure it's right in that bubble. Okay, perfect. And now we are dead center, and your trailer is level front to back. So this is the jack supports. These guys are not used for leveling, they're just used for stabilizing. So what you're using is the long, thin jack handle, and for each one, there's a pre-cut piece of 2x4. So you're gonna basically lower it to the ground till it almost touches the wood, then position the wood, and you'll feel it engage. And you kind of give it a half turn, and you'll see the thing lift a little bit. That is really, really solid right there. That means it's not going to go anywhere. So you do this on all 4 corners, and then you are ready to set the trailer up. Okay, so before you set up the trailer, you're going to need this. This is the main crank. It is the thicker one, and it's also shorter. You can do it with the other one, but it's actually much harder. So before you set up, you're going to need to make sure that everything that you need is out of here. You can still access everything from this little side door here, but it's much easier to remove the outdoor kitchen and remove the portable barbecue at this stage, because they will be harder to get later. Then we walk around and we undo these 4 catches. So for the slide out, there are 3 things on the slide out that you need to know about. First is your outdoor shower. This is just a thumb latch and it's closed. But before you crank it up, you're going to loosen these guys. They spin to the outside, and these are your closers for your actual slide out for the dinette. So now that you've done all of those things, walk over here and you're going to engage your crank. Stops, you're good. Stop. On the Bayside, it's pretty simple to use. So once you get to camp, first of all, you're going to walk over and you are going to loosen this all the way to the open position, opening very slowly. Leave it about 5 minutes to pressurize the system. Then come over to this connection, and this guy is essentially like a reusable zip tie. Feed this out, pull it down. Then you're going to twist this to the pilot position. Press the pilot down for about 30 seconds, and you're going to put a barbecue lighter in right here in the side and light it, and you'll hear it and it'll go poof. And then you're going to continue holding this pilot light down for about another 30 seconds. Then you'll release it and you'll put it to the on position. It's preset at a certain temperature. If you would like, you can lift this and move it. This is pretty much where it should stay, though. It gets quite hot, so we don't want to scald yourselves, especially if you have children. And then you can leave this down during your trip, or you can flip it back up and thread this through and lock it in. When you're done, you're gonna do the same thing. Flip it back down. You're in the on position. Okay, you're gonna twist it past pilot to the off position. That's all you really have to do. Then you have to close and secure this. This loop will stick out through the top. You will feed this end, the pointy end, through here. Okay. Feed this through the loop, pull it down, and lock it into place securely so that it won't flap around on the road. And you were done with the hot water. The Bayside is a two-step process. So there are these two compartments. You are going to need to only remove the bottom one if you're working on gas, but most people are going to be working on electric. It is a three-way fridge, but probably you are never going to use it on 12-volt mode because it doesn't work that well. So these guys are little pressure clips. You're just going to turn them sideways. Okay, stick a flathead screwdriver or keys or something in, and then lift, and you're going to pop them out. Okay. So this is the electric section. If you're turning on electric, you only need one power source at a time. Once your trailer's plugged in, you just press that on and you set it to 7, 6 at the very lowest, and it will stay warm. It will stay cold. It'll take probably about 3 or 4 hours to get down to temperature, regardless of which mode you choose. But if it's really hot, I would actually recommend leaving this cover off and just tucking it under the unit, because maximum airflow will really help keep the back of this cold. If you're using the gas section, you'll make sure both of these switches are off. This dial doesn't really matter, so it just lives at 7, but make sure both of these switches are off. And you're gonna open the bottom one. Twist, again, lift, pop out. Again, if it's really, really hot, like above, it's somewhere in the 30s, you're going to leave this exactly open pretty much your entire trip because it will maximize airflow and improve heat exchange. See over here, these are the gas controls. There's an off and an on. So it's left at 5, turn it to the on position, and you're going to press and hold this down probably for about 30 seconds. Then this little hole over here, this guy right here, okay? You're gonna flip that open, insert a barbecue lighter into it, and while you're holding that button down, hit the barbecue lighter and it will sort of go poof again, just like the hot water heater. Keep the button pressed down for about 30 seconds over here. So you're gonna keep it pressed down, keep it pressed down, keep it pressed down, lift it up. And when you lift it up, you're just going to, again, flip this, make sure that you can see a blue flame inside here, And when you can, you're absolutely done. So then you will just, set it and forget it. About 4 or 5 hours later, your fridge will be nice and cold. What you can do before your trip is you can pre-chill this fridge at home by plugging the trailer into your house power supply and leaving it in the on position. Then you can load the fridge once it's cold, turn it off, turn it to the 12-volt mode while you're towing it. And then when you get to camp, turn it off and select either 12-volt or gas. I personally find that gas cools things a little bit better, but it's absolutely your call. At the end of the trip, okay, you're going to make sure all of these guys are off. Okay, fridge is empty, emptied in your own cooler. Leave these guys to the off position. This is the gas switch. You're going to turn it to the off position as well. Clip these back in and push the fasteners in. Same thing at the bottom. Push this on, push the fasteners into place, and then using a flathead screwdriver and pressure or a set of keys, you are just going to push and lock this into place. Double check that these are nice and secure, and you are done. Over to the water side of the trailer. You have two options here. Most times you go to a provincial park in Ontario or Quebec, you are going to have to use the gravity fill. So there is a 70-liter freshwater tank built into this, and you'll use that. On the off chance that you have a city water connection, what that means is you have a hose at your site. You're going to take a white drinking water hose, okay? You're going to pull this little piece out. And then in the storage compartment, you'll see this RV water regulator. You absolutely have to use this, otherwise it will blow the pipes out in the trailer. So you're going to thread this in all the way, okay? And then you're going to connect your garden hose to this. This reduces the flow so that A, you don't splash water everywhere, and B, you don't destroy the pipes on the inside. That means you never have to worry about how much water you have in the tank. It's very, very easy. For most times though, you are not going to have a city water connection. So you're going to be dealing with the freshwater fill. Freshwater fill cap is right here. When you get to the campground, okay, there will be a trailer station or a dump station. You're gonna go to the one with the blue hose. The red hose is for sewage dumping. Don't need to worry about that. White cap, and I usually just take it off, put it on the trailer. And then you are going to connect the fill nozzle that is provided in the storage compartment as well. This connects to a standard garden hose and has a trigger to allow for water on or water off. You are going to insert the fill hose and wait till it overflows. Once it overflows, it is full, and then you're just gonna shut it off. From empty, this will take a very long time. This will take probably about 4 or 5 minutes. Once you're at the campsite, you can use a funnel and refill this. And once you're full, you take it and you screw the cap back on. And then your pump and everything will work well from the inside. And that is how you control the water. End of your trip. One of the biggest things you need to do to make sure you get home safely is to drain the fresh water supply. So we talked about putting the fresh water in here. On the bottom of the trailer, the front side of the storage compartment, okay, you're gonna see these two nozzles right here. One is for hot, one is for cold. And once you have shut the whole trailer off, shut off all the systems, shut off the water pump on the inside, you are going to flick these guys open and water will drain out of them, okay? So I would actually leave the water pump on and leave the trailer